Since April 11th, the libel trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard has been making the headlines. It has been one heated trial, as Johnny claims that Amber Heard defamed him in an opinion column that she published in the Washington Post in December 2018. In this column, Amber Heard claims that she was a victim of domestic abuse. For this, Depp is suing Amber for $50 million, maybe even more. However, things took a heated turn after Depp decided to take the stand and give his side of the story. But what did he have to say? Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we will take a look at the trial between Amber and Depp, as we find out what Depp said about the whole case and what happened. But before we continue, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe because you do not want to miss any more celebrity gossip. And with that, let's take a look at the case. According to Depp, the divorced movie actors always had on and off quarrels, but not once did they get violent. However, on the other hand, Amber Heard claims that Depp got violent sometimes and even hit her a couple of times. But this is not the first time a domestic abuse claim has been heard from Amber. Back in 2016, when the two were going through a corrosive divorce proceeding in Los Angeles, Amber first raised the issue of domestic violence. However, no evidence was provided that Amber was abused because the couple opted to settle the divorce outside of court. Since the trial began on April 11th in Fairfax County, Virginia, these issues have come up once again. So far, a lot has happened in those few days that the trial's been ongoing. The most interesting part of the trial is that Johnny Depp decided to take the stand. He decided to give his side of the story, and so far, we cannot really tell how it is going. So, what do we know so far about this trial? Heard claimed that Depp first assaulted her in 2013. She said that Depp slapped her after she made fun of a tattoo that Depp had. However, on April 20th, when Depp took the stand, he claimed that such a thing never happened. He even went ahead to ask why he would take such great offense over a tattoo on his body. Later on, Depp also addressed the alleged assault on Heard while they were on a private flight in 2014. According to Heard, Depp became blackout intoxicated and assaulted her while they were on the plane. However, Depp's side of the story claims something different. Depp testified and said that all he did was take 2 oxycodone pills and later locked himself in the plane bathroom. He then fell asleep in the bathroom to avoid Heard's pestering. Depp then said that he drank just 1 glass of champagne as he was boarding the plane. However, the evidence shows that this is not true. According to the evidence, which was also introduced in a similar trial in England as Depp sued a British tabloid, Depp had sent a text to actor and friend Paul Bettany and claimed that he had drunk half a bottle of whiskey, 1,000 Red Bull vodkas, and 2 bottles of champagne before the flight. Depp also referred to and explained in detail a graphic description of the last fight that the two had before they agreed on the divorce. In this story, Depp claims that Heard and her friends were all pretending that he assaulted her. After this fight, it was not long before Heard got a restraining order, and she was even photographed with marks on her face. To this, Depp said that Heard was on the phone with a friend before she started shouting, pleading with Depp to stop hitting her. However, Depp claims that he was nowhere near where Heard was standing. This final fight allegedly began when Depp came to the realization that it was time for the couple to split. As he said, the argument got heated, and Depp even accused Heard of leaving human fecal matter on his side of the bed while in the penthouse that they were sharing. When he confronted Heard about this, Depp said that she just denied it, blaming the small dogs. However, he did not believe her at all. On April 19th, during the court proceedings, Depp decided to give his side of the story. As he started his testimony, he referred to Heard's Washington Post story as a heinous. He claimed that he had never hit Miss Heard or any other woman in his life. He also added that the reason that he took the stand was to prove that Heard's claims were all false, and because he felt that he had the responsibility to protect his children, referring to his daughter Lily Rose, who is 22 years old, and his son Jack, who is 20 years old. For more than 1 hour after the testimony began, Depp decided to give long, detailed answers to some of the questions about his childhood and his early movie career. After one long answer, he went on to admit that he had forgotten the original question. During his testimony, he apologized to the jury for the vulgar language that he used during some of the text messages to Amber Heard. These text messages were provided as evidence. In response to this, Depp claimed that he was just feeling so much pain that he went to dark places. He then testified about the early days of his relationship with his now ex-wife Heard. He said that by then, she seemed too good to be true. But then a year and a half later, it was like she was a whole new person. Various pieces of evidence were provided to the court from both parties, and they were all intimidating to both Heard and Depp. One such piece of evidence was a video that was recorded on February 22nd. The video was played in court on April 18th. It showed Depp's doctor and a nurse attending to the actor's finger. It was allegedly after Heard threw a vodka bottle at him back in 2015. As Dr. David Kipper, who was Depp's doctor, put it, he was unaware of how Depp got these injuries. By then, they were in Australia, where he was filming the 5th installment of Pirates of the Caribbean. Depp then accused Heard of throwing a bottle at him, which in turn severed the top of his middle finger. However, Heard denied these claims and gave a different story altogether. She said that he must have injured himself when he smashed a phone. Contradicting all this, Heard's attorneys brought some text messages of evidence where Depp claims to have cut the finger himself. The doctor then added that when Depp got to the emergency room, he told one of the doctors that he had cut himself with a knife. However, regarding this story, Debbie Lloyd, a nurse who worked with Dr. Kipper, testified that she heard different versions of the nature of Depp's injury. In the first version, she claims that Depp claims that Heard threw a bottle at him, while in the other version, Depp slammed his hand with a phone. Out of the 3 versions of the nature of this injury, which one do you think is the real reason for Depp's finger injury? Let us know in the comments section below. Another testimony that incriminated Heard was from her personal assistant, who said that Heard was verbally abusive at times. According to Kate James, Heard's former personal assistant from 2012 to 2015, she never saw Heard with any signs of physical abuse from Depp. However, she recalled the time when Heard spit in her face, all because she asked for a higher salary. Kate recalls that Heard went into a screaming fit of blind rage as she sent some deeply confusing messages at 4 a.m. James testified to all this in a video deposition that was played on April 14th, where she said that Heard was probably high on some illegal drugs or drunk. However, as Kate put it, Depp was very calm, probably even shy. During this video testimony, Kate gave a completely inverse view. She claimed that Depp was the humble one, while Heard was intoxicated and verbally abusive from time to time. It was so serious that it extended even to her mother and sister. Another person who testified was Depp's longtime neighbor, Isaac Baruch. Baruch claimed that he had never seen or heard or any form of abuse in the home. He gave his testimony on April 13th, claiming that Heard had once claimed that Depp threw a phone at her face and hit her. However, Baruch claims that there was no sign of injury on Heard's face at the time. At one point during the testimony, Baruch even got emotional, claiming that this was all on Heard. There is a lot going on in this case, and a lot of contradictory testimonies and evidence are being pulled out. But we'd like to know, what do you think about this case so far? Feel free to let us know in the comments section below.